What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. I just got through reading an interesting and troubling article about Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. The article was about, has Mike Tomlin lost the locker room? Has the Pittsburgh Steelers players lost faith in Mike Tomlin? Absolutely ridiculous. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 6-4, ladies and gentlemen. If the playoffs started today, they would be in the playoffs as a 7th seed. They're in the toughest division in football. Nobody in that division has a losing record. The Baltimore Ravens, one of the best teams so far this season, are 8-3. The Cleveland Browns, who have the #1 defense in football, are 7-3, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are 6-4, and the Cincinnati Bengals, who are coming off of back-to-back AFC championship games, championship appearances, are 5-5. They just lost their franchise quarterback, Joe Burrow. Absolutely ridiculous. Mike Tomlin is the same guy that won a Super Bowl and has been in another Super Bowl. So he's been in 2 Super Bowls, he's 1-1. I know a lot of people gonna push back at me and say, hold on, JB Sports, that was 15 years ago. Yeah, they in the same era as the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. There ain't a lot of Super Bowl rings to win when you're in this era of one of the most dominant teams in NFL history. You know, I'm a Houston Rocket fan. I'm from H-Town, and the Rockets get a lot of flack for not winning a championship, you know, with James Harden. But they was in the same era as the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry. They had Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Sometimes you have a championship caliber team, but you're in the wrong era. I'm gonna go back to the 70s, the Houston Oilers. Great teams, Dan Pastorini, Earl Campbell, Kenny Burrow, Billy White Shoes Johnson. But they couldn't get past that steel curtain, that dynasty, Pittsburgh Steelers, who won 4 championships during that era, during their reign. They had Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, Rocky Bleier, Mean Joe Green, L.C. Greenwood, Donnie Shell, Mel Blunt, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, Mike Webster. That team was loaded. The Houston Oilers was just in the wrong era. And same can be said for the Pittsburgh Steelers under the Mike Tomlin era, when they had to face and had to get through the New England Patriots, which was a dominant team of this era led by Tom Brady. With all that being said, Mike Tomlin has not lost the locker room. Mike Tomlin's only problem is his offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. He probably should have already got rid of him. And I think it's going to cost his team a legitimate chance at representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, because they got everything else that you need. They got a good running back in Morton, got 2 good receivers in Pickens and Johnson. They got a good defense, Haywood. They got TJ Watts. They got Minkah Fitzpatrick, who, by the way, didn't play in this last game. He was hurt. And they still went to the wire with the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people saying, well, how you lose to a rookie quarterback? Well, your quarterback is in his 2nd year, and he ain't nothing to write home about. He's an okay quarterback. Hopefully he'll develop into a solid quarterback. But the problem with him is he's in the AFC. You got some star quarterbacks in the AFC. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Joe Burrow, who's hurt. You got Josh Allen. You got Justin Herbert. You got Lamar Jackson. You got Deshaun Watson when he comes back healthy and he gets his game back to close to what it was when he was with the Houston Texans. You got C.J. Stroud. You got some great quarterbacks in the AFC. So with all that being said, Mike Tomlin needs to take a page out of John Harbaugh's playbook, who is the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. What he did before this year was he went and hired a great offensive mind in Todd Monken, who was the architect of the Georgia Bulldogs offense, who are back-to-back national champions. He went and hired Mike McDonald. I ain't talking about Mike McDonald, the singer, On My Own. I ain't talking about that Mike McDonald. I'm talking about the Mike McDonald who was the defensive coordinator of the Michigan Wolverines. I'm talking about that Mike McDonald, who's one of the great young defensive minds in football. Don't matter if you go get him from the college or from the NFL, take him from somebody else's staff or wide receiver coach or running backs coach. You go hire the best talent for the offensive coordinator position next season. That's what Mike Tomlin need to do, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Tomlin has not lost the locker room. The Pittsburgh Steelers players are still playing hard for Mike Tomlin. They haven't lost faith in Mike Tomlin. So this article is answer 9, answer 10, answer 11, and answer 12. Absolutely ridiculous. And I was taken aback by this article. I can't believe they came out with this article. I can't believe this writer would actually write this article saying that Mike Tomlin has lost the locker room. Or basically asking the question, has Mike Tomlin lost the locker room? Based on what? They went to the wire with the Cleveland Browns. They've been in every game. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers games look like this season. Just like what we seen last Sunday, Pittsburgh Steelers has been in these type of games the whole season. One score game, down to the wire, and they seem to make enough plays, particularly on defense, to win them games. This time it didn't work out in their favor. The offense was bad, going against the number 1 defense in the NFL. And another thing people need to take account of, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the best division in football. You got the Baltimore Ravens in first place at 8-3, been one of the best teams so far this season, smashed the Detroit Lions, who lead their division, smashed the Seattle Seahawks, who are currently at the playoffs. If the season ends today, they be in the playoffs, second in the NFC West. Smashed those two teams, 8-3. And then in second place, you got the Cleveland Browns. Now, they lost Deshaun Watson for the season, due to a shoulder injury, a broken bone in his shoulder. But they have the number 1 defense in football. And then in last place, you got the Cincinnati Bengals, who are coming off of back-to-back AFC Championship game appearances. They're 5-5. They lost their quarterback for the season, Joe Burrow. So nobody in that division has a losing record. And Mike Tomlin is going head up with everybody in that division. The Steelers are competitive in every game. They lost a heartbreaker at the wire, 13-10. And you want to come out and write an article talking about, has Mike Tomlin lost the locker room? Hell no, he ain't lost the locker room. They've been competitive in every game. He don't have the quarterback, and he should have got rid of his offensive coordinator. Now, that falls at the feet of Mike Tomlin, that he ain't fired that offensive coordinator. That's the only thing you can blame him for. But as far as his team losing faith in him, nothing further could be from the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, and Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. Now, again, he's in a tough era. He's in the same era as Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Now you got to deal with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So he's just in a tough era. Make no excuses. This is a win-win business. There ain't no excuses. I'm not trying to make no excuses for him, but what I'm saying is he's won with Delvin Duck Hodges quarterbacking his team. He's won with Mason Rudolph coaching his team. He's won with Mitchell Trubisky coaching this, running this team at the quarterback positions. And he has never had a losing season. So again, take a page from John Harbaugh, who lets Mike Tomlin run the show after he got him over from the Georgia Bulldogs as his offensive coordinator. Then he went and got Mike McDonald from Michigan to run the defense. He had some good defenses under his brother Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. Bring them over, and now look at what Baltimore Ravens are producing. One of the top offenses in the NFL and one of the top defenses in the NFL. I think Mike Tomlin needs to take heed and follow that blueprint and go hire the best offensive mind available for his offensive coordinator next season, no matter if it's in college football or the NFL. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. And holla.